This is my Wooting 60HE, the board I've been using for the past 2 years whenever I'm gaming. Even after reviewing other HE boards, I still continue to use my Wooting 60HE. And even though my channel is based on custom keyboards and how they sound, my 60HE actually sounds like ass. I've tried other HE boards, the Wooting 80HE, the most recent Halo 65HE, and they all easily sound way better than what I have. So in today's video, I'll be trying to upgrade my 60HE. And before we jump right in, I wanted to explain why I choose my Wooting 60HE over all these other boards. My number one priority for a HE keyboard is software. The software to control all the customizable options, how simple and intuitive it is. Some companies like Nufi are doing a great job. But I still think Wooting still stands on top when it comes to software, which is also why I don't really want to review the budget HE board that's going around trending right now, because I saw the software and it looks pretty gimmicky. And secondly, when I game, I have a pretty low sensitivity, so having a TKL like a Wooting 80 on my desk wouldn't really make sense. So the Wooting 60HE is the perfect board for me. Now let's start with the simplest component that can change how your keyboard will sound: your switches. So for switches, I contacted a local keyboard store called KTechs. They had the largest variety of HE switches and they were kind enough to let me film and try them out to see which I would like best. So we don't really have a huge variety of HE switches in the market right now compared to what we are used to on HMX, Gateron, Everglide, all the really popular custom keyboard switches. We don't have that sort of choice for HE switches. And on top of that, the only other HE switch I've tried aside from the leaker switches are the magnetic Jade Pros. So when I tried the 5 different HE switches that were in the store, I found it really helpful. So the 5 switches: the Everglide Sticky Rise V2, Geon Raptor, Geon Ross, Gateron Orange, and Gateron Jade Pros. So there are actually 2 main factors that I use when I'm deciding switches for gaming. First of all, sound. In terms of sound, the Geon Raw HE and the Gateron Jade Pros really stand out. The Geon Raw switches has a really nice, clean and clacky sound profile to it, and the Jade Pros have a really smooth, balanced sound profile to it. And honestly, I had a really tough time deciding between these 2 switches. Have a listen. So I had a trial run with these 2 switches for a couple of days and my final decision was the Geon Raw HE, which also brings me to my second preference and priority when choosing a HE switch: the feel. Not based on how smooth it is, they feel equally smooth. Maybe the Jade Pros are a little smoother, but the Jade Pros are a little too heavy for me. Coming from leaker switches, the Jade Pros feel really tiring to use. But the Geon Raw HE is just a little heavier than leaker and a little lighter than Jade Pros, so the Geon Raw HE were the perfect choice. So now that we have our switches decided, I swapped over from the default Wooting plate to a palm plate. I figured it would pair pretty well with the Geon Raw switches with the clacky and poppy sound profile of it. And on to our final upgrade, the case. We have slowly seen more and more Wooting compatible cases, and I have 2 cases with me today. Number 1, the classic Tofu 60 Redux case in E white. It's an absolute classic in the market. It provides that very clean and sharp aesthetic. And the second one, the Holy 60. This might be an acquired taste, but to me this looks so good. The fact that it's CNC aluminum makes it look so sleek and lightweight. The overall design is so unique. Now, as I mentioned, the main priority for upgrading my Wooting is for sound. So I tried not to be biased. I tried out both cases to find out which one sounds better. And to my surprise, the Holy 60 actually sounds better. I don't know why, I don't really understand it either, but the combination of the Geon Raw and the Holy 60 creates a really crispy sound profile, and since I have a more neutral case color, Choosing keycaps or swapping keycap sets would be really easy. And after playing around with it for a few days, I figured out the best switch configuration. Having magnetic jade pros on your bigger keys like spacebar, shift, enter, it makes the keys sound a little snappier and sound a lot better. So honestly, I'm really glad I did this. I've always wanted to upgrade my Wooting 60 HE but never got to it. Especially after trying out the newer HE boards, I really wanted to find out if the Wooting 60 HE has the potential to reach those standards. And the verdict is yes. I haven't really upgraded a board in a really long time, and I honestly really enjoyed the process and filming this whole video. It's a complete upgrade on sound, feel and look. It's basically a whole different keyboard, which I really love. So if you're interested in any of the parts I've used, thank you so much to KBDFans and ktechs for sending the parts over, accommodating my request to try out the switches in store. Do check them out, I'll have everything linked down below. So subscribe if you enjoyed my content, like this video if you enjoyed this video, comment your thoughts on my new Wooting 60 HE, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.